So good evening to everyone present here. My name is Edric and I would like to do a short presentation on solar energy. First and foremost, I would like to thank everyone who is involved in organizing this event for providing me with an opportunity to study and speak to you all about solar energy. So let's start with the basics. What is solar energy? So solar energy is defined as the radiation from the sun that is capable of producing heat leading to chemical processes or the generation of electricity. So next, how does it work? So solar energy works by capturing sunlight using photovoltaic cells in solar panels. And when sunlight strikes these cells, electrons are released, resulting in a direct current flow. And then an inverter turns this electricity into usable alternating current power for homes and businesses. Let's watch a short video that shows us how this actually works in greater detail.
How do solar panels generate electricity? Electricity is the flow of electrons around a circuit. In a solar panel, energy from the sun prompts these electrons to start flowing. But how? It's all to do with the photovoltaic cells that solar panels are made from. Photovoltaic cells are made out of two layers of silicon. One layer is positively charged and the other is negatively charged, creating an electric field that will enable an electric current to be generated. When sunlight hits the cell, light particles knock some of the electrons within the silicon free from their bonds. These are drawn to the positively charged silicon layer. However, a bridge between the two layers only lets electrons cross in one direction, from positive to negative. So instead, the electrons are collected by conductive metal plates that move them from the solar cell into a circuit where they flow freely as electricity. This electricity can be used in your home, stored in a battery or electric car, or exported to the electricity grid. Standard solar panels will generate 100% renewable electricity for 25 to 30 years. Good Energy buys electricity from hundreds of solar generators in Britain, along with supporting over 100,000 people who generate their own solar power at home. Switch to Good Energy for power from sun, wind and water.
So next, where is this used? So solar energy is used practically almost everywhere. So it can be residential, commercial, industrial, agricultural, transportation, or even space. So what will we do in the rainy season? So when you have solar electricity, but it's raining or it's the night time, you have a few options for managing your energy needs. So first, you can use energy storage, or if it's grid connected, you can use grid connection or energy efficiency or even a backup generator. So finally, I also researched on how I could implement this in my school. So I think we could implement this in my school in the roof of our school building. So we could set up solar panels on the roof of our buildings. And according to my research, the typical cost of installing these panels ranges from rupees 1 lakh for 1 kilowatt and rupees 15 lakhs for 20 kilowatts. And the maintenance cost ranges from rupees 1,000 to rupees 3,000 per kilowatt. This brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you all for being such an amazing audience, and I hope the presentation was beneficial for you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Edric. It was really wonderful. So any
Thanks.
questions?
Yeah, thanks, Edric. And I think it would be good if you can just provide a brief introduction about yourself. So which city are you from? Which school are you from? Which grade you're studying?
So, sir, my name is Edric, and I'm currently studying in GIS Whitefield, that's Global Indian International School, and
Okay.
I'm located in Bangalore right now.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah.
And which grade are you in?
I study in grade 9.
Okay, great. Good. So good presentation, Edric, and I think it was
Thank
very
you, sir.
helpful. So I don't know if there are any questions from students. Anybody?
I have a question here.
Yeah, everyone. I think if you can just switch on your camera as well. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We can see.
So one of my question is how the solar panel catches photovoltaic cells.
So this photovoltaic cells is inbuilt in solar panels. Like if you've seen the video, so it's actually in two layers. One is positively charged and one is negatively charged. And this is what generates the electricity as well.
And why solar panels not in such a big use for agriculture, residential or in school buildings? Why is it not being promoted? Is there any lack of usefulness or technology for its
No,
use?
mainly it's the cost. It's very expensive as well. So people find that other sources of energy is more cost effective for them. So that's mainly the reason why they do this.
So
Yeah,
will it
and I'll just add on to this. I think it's also about the incentive, right? So in agriculture, if you are aware, in India, it is completely free of charge given to the agriculture sector. To make it chargeable, I'm sure next day there would be huge demand for solar panels.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so that's a key reason.
So, Edric, I have one question with your solar panel approach. Tell me something. Your solar panels are only supposed to absorb the photons, right?
Yes, sir.
No solar panel will absorb the infrared,
Yes, sir.
right? If it absorbs the infrared, the solar cell itself will burst.
Yes, sir.
Now, are you aware of a phenomena called PVHI, photovoltaic heat island?
No, sir. I'm yet to research on that.
Okay. So you just do a research on PVHI. What you will come to know is no photovoltaic cell will absorb the infrared. It will be reflected there in the atmosphere itself, right?
Yes, sir.
Now our atmosphere is full of greenhouse gases being emitted from all the drains, all the water bodies, all the polluted water bodies, and all the coal-fired electricity plants and everywhere, right?
Yes, sir.
Even the vehicular emissions are there, even the industrial emissions are there. So if there is a lot of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere and the infrared is reflected by the photovoltaic cell, this entire infrared, which is the heat causing element of the sunlight, will be trapped into the greenhouse gases around the solar plant, right?
Yes, sir.
Which means the local temperature will go up, right?
Yeah.
Which means if you are installing it in your school premise, your local temperature around your school will go up.
Oh, okay.
How do you counter that?
So, Mr. Madhukar, I think this is a little technical question. I'm sure you'll have to give the answer as well.
No, no, I'm not wanting him to give an answer. I'm just giving him a food for thought. If you're doing a
Sure.
research on a particular subject, you must think from all the different perspectives, right?
Yes, sir.
There is a lot of data. See, in the age of internet, we are living in the age of information abundance. There is a lot of information which is pumped up into the internet, which could be very good, which could be very bad, which could be good, bad, ugly, anything, right? We have to, as a researcher, as a seeker of the truth, as a seeker of the science, we need to think from all different perspectives and get to the real technology. If we are well researched, we will always find a solution for the problem which the entire world is facing, right? If the
Sir.
research is not comprehensive, then instead of solving a problem, we might just end up postponing a problem and creating a new problem. You getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So just think about it from the temperature perspective also, and probably you will be able to find out a solution there as well.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, so
Thank
yeah, I
you.
think this is a good question, and I think Edric can. I think even for others, I would say that you also need to. I think everybody talks about the pros of solar energy. I think as a aware citizen, I think we should also know if there are any negative effects, and if there are negative effects, then are we countering it, or how do we plan to counter it? Okay, and I think that's a great question, Mr. Madhukar. Okay, any other questions before we move to the next participant or presenter?
Vaishnavi has raised her hand.
Okay,
Vaishnavi?
Vaishnavi.
Yes, sir. What is the risk of using non-renewable energy sources?
What
As
is
you
the
know,
risk of using non-renewable energy? Okay.
there isn't a risk as such. Of course, there are risks such as health issues and all of that. But the thing is that we are running out of non-renewable resources. That's why we are switching to these uh, renewable resources. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
and I
you.
think things like I think petroleum and coal also has a major environmental impact, right? So that's definitely another point. Okay, but I think good question, Vaishnavi.